Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It is July 14th, 2023, and let's go through the charts and wrap up the week. It has been a good week for trading for us, and but today is a little bit of a give back day. So you win some, you lose some. It's all fine in the scheme of things. So let's go start here with the S&P 500. So the S&P was actually up today, and you can see it turned green yesterday. No, I'm sorry, it's down a little bit. Down, it's break even. Who are we kidding? So minus 0.1%. That's pretty much sideways. So, but we are expecting really. I mean, with this resistance level right here to probably hold. In the short term. If it blows up here past this thing, then it's a whole nother story. So we do have bullishness on the true Momo indicator. We have bullishness on these EMAs, and we got really this thing is just been powering higher, and it's been really good for and constructive for markets. So the Dow Jones, it was up today. That's the one I sort of meant. It's up 113 points. I think it was all the way up to 150 or something like that. But you can see here, it is it turned green yesterday too, and we've been powering higher. So, and it's actually again got the one with the most legs. If you look here on the left-hand side, I'm just because of my cursor and crosshairs actually show a straight line across there. I believe that is a weekly higher close in that, since this high back here on 11/28 of 22 um, from a closing basis, not just from a high basis, but it might even be that. So anyways, that's, I think, an indication of it's poking its head out, and but that would be good because we're long the Dow right now. And then the Russell pulled back by 1%. It's also green, and I don't think this is anything major to like worry about or anything. I think we're still gonna end up going or continue going higher. Um, but maybe just not straight in a straight line. So if you look here at the Russell versus the Nasdaq, especially if you look at the Nasdaq, it has been plowing higher for a long time, and it's been above the gold Harvard lines, and the Russell is just getting started that way. So not to say that they're going to be one for one by any stretch of the imagination, but um, if one pulls the other one up and then the Russell wants to catch up, that would be probably a good move. Might even be an opportunity to get long the Russell here at some point while we're pulling back. So, all right. Oil went down by 2.34% today, but it's been powering higher here lately in a short-term blip to the upside. And so we'll just continue to watch that. This is what I'm talking about, where it has to close above the gold Harvard line for a longer term buy signal, and you can see it got rejected from there right now. So we will continue to keep an eye on that. The transports pulled back as we expected right now, and so that's good for our. We've got a sort of, I wouldn't call it a bearish play, but it's a play that basically takes care of or takes advantage of either bearish or sideways action. And then I'll flip over to stockcharts.com, and this has got an interesting story from what I can tell from just a couple glances today. Here we got the transports actually went higher by 4.76%. I think that's important because we haven't broken to above that column of X's for a while. We might be seeing that unfolding here. The NYA up by 0.26% today. The transports, this is the one that's, I told you, is at 100%. So it's really only got one way to go, is down. It can chop around up here for a while. It could even go, I guess, continue to go higher, but eventually it's going to flip over, and I'm positioned for that, to take advantage of that. The NASDAQ up by 1.18%. The SPX up by 1.57%. If you notice, these things are all up, and it was sort of a blah day. And it was also a Friday, which Fridays are, they tend to be days where people like to sit on their hands. But then this is a big deal. The OEX actually breaking higher and above the old resistance line, and I mean, that is tacking on a new X today in the face of all that. And then the NDX, I think, did something similar. Yeah, it tacked on a new green X. So, and up by 2.56%. Now, at the same time, I might expect, and might as well call it out here. If you look here, this this line through there is a place where it fell after that, and across here, then it fell there. It didn't even make it on this one before it fell, and yeah, let's get it on the right line, Dave. And then now we're at that line. So can we fall from here? You bet we can, but that doesn't mean we have to, because this one poked its head up, and we got all that room. You get just like the transports, it could go all the way up. I've never seen that before. That's probably about as bullish of a sign back there, which is, I don't even know when that was. It looks like it was in 22. That was about as bullish of a sign as I've ever seen, and that's not to say it hasn't happened. So, anyways, we'll keep moving on. So let's flip to the automatic trading systems that we had trouble with getting that downloaded last night, and so we're here, and we've had a little bit of bullishness and positivity in the Dow, which has been good lately. It's still got a long way to go to get back up to those old highs. This is the Russell, and we pulled up a little bit today and then had a sideways trade, it looks like. And in the scheme of things, this looks really fine too. And then the NASDAQ, even though we've had this huge move to the downside lately, we're getting some back here lately. So, and then in the scheme of things, it looks just, and I won't say just fine because it's a deep pullback. But the other night I showed you a deeper pull, or just as deep of a pullback on if you extend this a little bit further out than just 1 year. And then I wanted to show you this because I am working on something to try to collect when that goes up to there. You can see it ended up in a negative trade. That would have been positive and pretty positive. The only reason it doesn't collect those is because in the scheme of things, my parameters that I have built don't take it off the table up there, because if I've run 1,000 scenarios on this, it might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but not very far. And there wasn't one that really takes it out that also wins on a trade like that, or a trade like the one below it. But I'd love to find a way, and I think I'm working on something to be able to find a way to take off that trade at the top, and possibly a trade there at the top instead of taking a hit on those trades. And if I can do that, it's going to make our equity curve even more steep and more winning and less losing. And that's the whole point in all of this. So with that, I'll leave you guys for the weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care. Have a great weekend.